Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
Genesis chapter 47. Then Joseph came and told Pharaoh, and said,
My father and my brethren, and their flocks and their herds and all that they have are come out of the land of Canaan. And behold, they are in the land of Goshen.
And he took some of his brethren, even 5 men, and presented them unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto his brethren,
What is your occupation?
And they said unto Pharaoh,
Thy servants are shepherds, both we, and also our fathers.
They said moreover unto Pharaoh,
For to sojourn in the land are we come, for thy servants have no pasture for their flocks, for the famine is sore in the land of Canaan. Now therefore, we pray thee, let thy servants dwell in the land of Goshen.
And Pharaoh spake unto Joseph, saying,
Thy father and thy brethren are come unto thee. The land of Egypt is before thee. In the best of the land make thy father and brethren to dwell. In the land of Goshen let them dwell. And if thou knowest any men of activity among them, then make them rulers over my cattle.
And Joseph brought in Jacob his father, and set him before Pharaoh, and Jacob blessed Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Jacob,
How old art thou?
And Jacob said unto Pharaoh,
The days of the years of my pilgrimage are 130 years. Few and evil have the days of the years of my life been, and have not attained unto the days of the years of the life of my fathers in the days of their pilgrimage.
And Jacob blessed Pharaoh, and went out from before Pharaoh. And Joseph placed his father and his brethren, and gave them a possession in the land of Egypt, in the best of the land, in the land of Ramesses, as Pharaoh had commanded. And Joseph nourished his father and his brethren, and all his father's household, with bread, according to their families. And there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very sore, so that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by reason of the famine. And Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the corn which they bought. And Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. And when money failed in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said,
Give us bread, for why should we die in thy presence? For the money faileth.
And Joseph said,
Give your cattle, and I will give you for your cattle if money fail.
And they brought their cattle unto Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses, and for the flocks, and for the cattle of the herds, and for the asses. And he fed them with bread for all their cattle for that year. When that year was ended, they came unto him the 2nd year, and said unto him,
We will not hide it from my lord, how that our money is spent. My lord also hath our herds of cattle. There is not aught left in the sight of my lord, but our bodies and our lands.
Wherefore shall we die before thine eyes, both we and our land? Buy us and our land for bread, and we and our land will be servants unto Pharaoh. And give us seed, that we may live and not die, that the land be not desolate.
And Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh. For the Egyptians sold every man his field, because the famine prevailed over them. So the land became Pharaoh's. And as for the people, he removed them to cities from one end of the borders of Egypt even to the other end thereof. Only the land of the priests bought he not, for the priests had a portion assigned them of Pharaoh, and did eat their portion which Pharaoh gave them. Wherefore they sold not their lands. Then Joseph said unto the people,
Behold, I have bought you this day and your land for Pharaoh. Lo, here is seed for you, and ye shall sow the land. And it shall come to pass in the increase, that ye shall give the 5th part unto Pharaoh, and 4 parts shall be your own. for seed of the field, and for your food, and for them of your households, and for food for your little ones.
And they said,
Thou hast saved our lives. Let us find grace in the sight of my Lord, and we will be Pharaoh's servants.
And Joseph made it a law over the land of Egypt unto this day, that Pharaoh should have the 5th part, except the land of the priests only, which became not Pharaoh's. And Israel dwelt in the land of Egypt, in the country of Goshen. And they had possessions therein, and grew and multiplied exceedingly. And Jacob lived in the land of Egypt 17 years. So the whole age of Jacob was 147 years. And the time drew nigh that Israel must die. And he called his son Joseph, and said unto him,
If now I have found grace in thy sight, put, I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh, and deal kindly, truly with me. Bury me not, I pray thee, in Egypt, but I will lie with my fathers, and thou shalt carry me out of Egypt, and bury me in their burying place.
And he said,
I will do as thou hast said.
And he said,
Swear unto me.
And he sware unto him. And Israel bowed himself upon the bed's head.
All right, the second mention of the phrase carry me out is found in 1 Kings 22, verse 34. And this is in reference to the king of Israel, Ahab, which is Jezebel's husband. And a certain man drew a bow at a venture, and smote the king of Israel between the joints of the harness. Wherefore he said unto the driver of his chariot, Turn thine hand, and carry me out of the host, for I am wounded. So keep in mind, this is someone who is married to Jezebel. We read in Revelation how Jezebel is teaching and seducing God's people to commit fornication and to eat things sacrificed unto idols. So let's read 2 Chronicles chapter 18 and look at the third account of that phrase, carry me out.
2 Chronicles chapter 18. Now Jehoshaphat had riches and honor in abundance, and joined affinity with Ahab. And after certain years he went down to Ahab to Samaria. And Ahab killed sheep and oxen for him in abundance and for the people that he had with him, and persuaded him to go up with him to Ramoth-Gilead. And Ahab king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat king of Judah,
Wilt thou go with me to Ramoth-Gilead?
And he answered him,
I am as thou art, and my people as thy people, and we will be with thee in the war.
And Jehoshaphat said unto the king of Israel,
Enquire, I pray thee, at the word of the Lord today.
Therefore the king of Israel gathered together of prophets 400 men, and said unto them,
Shall we go to Ramoth-Gilead to battle, or shall I forbear?
And they said,
Go up, for God will deliver it into the king's hand.
But Jehoshaphat said,
Is there not here a prophet of the Lord besides, that we might inquire of him?
And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat,
There is yet one man by whom we may inquire of the Lord, but I hate him, for he never prophesied good unto me, but always evil. The same as Micaiah, the son of Imlah.
And Jehoshaphat said,
Let not the king say so.
And the king of Israel called for one of his officers, and said,
Fetch quickly Micaiah, the son of Imlah.
And the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, sat either of them on his throne, clothed in their robes. And they sat in a void place at the entering in the gate of Samaria. And all the prophets prophesied before them. And Zedekiah the son of Chenaanah had made him horns of iron, and said,
Thus saith the Lord, with these thou shalt push Syria until they be consumed.
And all the prophets prophesied so, saying,
Go up to Ramoth Gilead and prosper, for the Lord shall deliver it into the hand of the king.
And the messenger that went to call Micaiah spake to him, saying,
Behold, the words of the prophets declare good to the king with one assent. Let thy word, therefore, I pray thee, be like one of theirs, and speak thou good.
And Micaiah said,
As the Lord liveth, even what my God saith, that will I speak.
And when he was come to the king said unto him,
Micaiah, shall we go to Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall I forbear?
And he said,
Go ye up and prosper, and they shall be delivered into your hand.
And the king said to him,
How many times shall I adjure thee that thou say nothing but the truth to me in the name of the Lord?
Then he said,
I did see all Israel scattered upon the mountains as sheep that have no shepherd. And the Lord said, These have no master. Let them return therefore every man to his house in peace.
And the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat,
Did I not tell thee that he would not prophesy good unto me, but evil?
Again he said,
Therefore hear the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting upon his throne, and all the host of heaven standing on his right hand and on his left. And the Lord said, Who shall entice Ahab, king of Israel, that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one spake, saying after this manner, and another one saying after that manner. Then there came out a spirit, and stood before the Lord, and said, I will entice him. And the Lord said unto him, Wherewith? And he said, I will go out and be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And the Lord said, Thou shalt entice him, and thou shalt also prevail. Go out and do even so. Now therefore, behold, the Lord hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of these thy prophets, and the Lord hath spoken evil against thee.
Then Zedekiah the son of Chenaanah came near, and smote Micaiah upon the cheek, and said,
Which way went the Spirit of the Lord from me to speak unto thee?
And Micaiah said,
Behold, thou shalt see on that day when thou shalt go into an inner chamber to hide thyself.
Then the king of Israel said,
Take ye Micaiah, and carry him back to Amon the governor of the city, and to Joash the king's son, and say, Thus saith the king, Put this fellow in the prison, and feed him with bread of affliction and with water of affliction, until I return in peace.
And Micaiah said,
If thou certainly return in peace, then hath not the Lord spoken by me.
And he said,
Hearken, all ye people!
So the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat the king of Judah went up to Ramoth Gilead. And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat,
I will disguise myself, and will go to the battle. But put thou on thy robes.
So the king of Israel disguised himself, and they went to the battle. Now the king of Syria had commanded the captains of the chariots that were with him, saying,
Fight ye not with the small or great, save only with the king of Israel.
And it came to pass, when the captains of the chariots saw Jehoshaphat, that they said,
It is the king of Israel!
Therefore they compassed about him to fight. But Jehoshaphat cried out, and the Lord helped him, and God moved them to depart from him. For it came to pass that, when the captains of the chariots perceived that it was not the king of Israel, they turned back again from pursuing him. And a certain man drew a bow at a venture, and smote the king of Israel between the joints of the harness. Therefore he said to his chariot man,
Turn thine hand, that thou mayest carry me out of the host, for I am wounded.
And the battle increased that day. Howbeit the king of Israel stayed himself up in his chariot against the Syrians until the even. And about the time of the sun going down, he died.